Welcome everyone to another edition of AFL Today, Week 7 in review. I'm your host, E-Money, and as you can tell, sitting next to me, that is not Tony Cozzolino. That is former Iron Man of the Year and runner-up for Academy Award winner and Best Supporting Actor Kevin Ingram for his on-the-camera roles there with the hit movie Mark Wahlberg in Invincibles. But Kevin's joining us today, and stick around. We're going to have a great interview with him, but he's going to break down these games with us here. So without further ado, let's get to it. San Jose SaberCats take a trip to New Orleans, 54-67, and get gunned down by an incredible defense. Mark Reeb was just pounded, 2 INTs, and it shows you what happens to a great quarterback when he gets pressure in his face. On the other side of the ball, Belisari from The Ohio State University coming around here, 8 TDs, doing pretty well. There might be some quarterback controversy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. They were down 3 of their starters, actually, and Belisari came in, played great. So that's a big game for them. I know they're having a tough season so far, but that's a big game for them against San Jose.
Absolutely. And as we know, San Jose is not really a favorite among Avengers players or fans. But let's move on here. Talk about the game that KI may have a little bit to talk about. That's the devastating loss there. Avengers 63, Utah 76. And Avengers, 4 turnovers. You can't win with 4 turnovers, and KI is going to talk about a little bit of that. The other side of the ball, you got Joe Germain throwing 10 TDs, and again, just that offense continues to roll in year 2 of that franchise. But Kev, what's going on? The Avengers just not holding the ball? What's the story?
Yeah, it's been the second game. Turnovers definitely hurt us. Fumbling the ball on kickoffs and special teams and stuff like that is something we need to fix, and it was the difference in the game. We had a chance to come back. We got within 6, but their offense is very powerful, and just going to pull it through.
Well, like I said, the good news is we're going to talk about in the interview again. You're still 3-3, tied with San Jose. Luckily, Arizona and Las Vegas have other issues, and so obviously I think we'll be strong run for the playoffs. But again, we'd like to see the Avengers hold on to the ball more. Come on, guys. All right, let's get to the next game. Austin 49, taking a trip to Columbus 72, and this was a big response from Coach K. They had a meltdown last week in Dallas, and I think Coach K ripped into his guy and said that's not going to happen again. And they took a close game and pulled away at the end, and I got to hand it to Columbus coming back there. Again, McPherson there still throwing 2 INTs, not the same McPherson that we saw a few years ago with Indiana. And again, Columbus just strong. And I don't know if you got a chance to catch that game, KI, but I'm sure you can tell us a little bit about Coach K.
Well, Coach K, yeah, definitely. I'm sure he ripped into them guys losing the 30-point lead against Dallas. And they got a good team. They got a great defense, Columbus. They're a team definitely to watch out for. If they can keep the offense rolling, I think their defense will definitely pull them through.
And again, Coach K spent a lot of time with the Avengers on the defensive side of the ball, so always a roller coaster here in the Arena League with coaches moving and coming and going. That's just part of the game. All right, let's move on to the next game of the week here. Tampa Bay takes a trip to Orlando and gets pounded 61-37, and you gotta love the whole controversy and the whole story. Stafford again playing Markham, and you know he's coming with his A game, and they showed it once again. 4 turnovers for Tampa Bay, plagued again. These guys, again, we thought they were turning around. Looks like the same old Tampa Bay this year, and Markham possibly maybe wearing out his welcome with this kind of a record here. Of course, Jay Gruden will take a win any way he can get it, and so things are a little bit happier in the jungle there, K.I.
Yeah, definitely. I know Orlando, there's a big win for them. Tampa Bay, they got the athletes out there to get it done. They're just not playing well together this season, so hopefully they'll pull it around.
Yeah, no, Markham, it's tough. I mean, he's a great coach. Again, his record speaks for itself. However, he does have kind of that abrasive personality, and when you're losing, it gets old real fast. So we'll see what happens if Markham is a permanent structure in Tampa Bay. Moving on, Grand Rapids Rampage take a trip to Kansas City Brigade and get run over by Philyaw, 41-52. And again, it all comes down to turnovers. Grand Rapids 3 fumbles, had interception in there. Philyaw playing solid. And again, not to sound cliche, but KC is flying high right now. These guys, again, are looking good. Way more wins than they had total last year, and they seem in a great spot right now, Kev.
Definitely. Philyaw is playing great ball. He played great ball in Chicago, so he's taking it down to Kansas City and playing well out there. And turnovers, you see this is a trend going on. The turnovers are definitely hurting the teams, and that's why they're losing.
Well, speaking of losing teams, Kev, let's go to Arizona and Nashville Cats 62, Arizona 36. And I have to tell you, folks, this was probably the worst Arizona game I have ever seen. And I'm not an Arizona fan, but I was embarrassed for that franchise. They played so poorly. And I think really the only thing we can point to is Coach Gene Nudo. And again, he's been with the club for a long time in the front office, but he's definitely not the man on the sidelines, in at least my opinion. Obviously, they're definitely missing Danny White and wondering, why did we let this guy go? And again, the Cats, I think, just got away with a freebie, and I don't know if they're going to be able to turn this around. This is a this is a carbon copy of last year, Kev. I just see the same situation happening, and I don't know how much of this Bonner's going to like.
Yeah, you know, they go through the same thing every year, but I don't know if they're going to, you know, they start out slow and then they pull back in the end of the season. But this year, I don't think it's going to happen. They got a lot of young players out there they still need to develop. And, you know, they got Seth out there, which is, you know, the main guy. If they got him out there, they can pull through. But I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
Yeah, quarterback can only do so much, and they need the rest of the team to kind of respond. So we'll see if Arizona continues on a downward spiral. All right, next game, let's talk about Colorado Crush. Pulls one out against the New York Dragons, 49-48. And if you're New York, you got to be frustrated. But again, they came away strong and didn't quit. Again, the Crush, we got a new John Dutton this week. I don't know if he looked at some of those old tapes back from his first year at Colorado and said that's not happening again. But I definitely saw the real John Dutton step up. And again, it took 3 INTs from the Crush to pull this one out. So the Crush definitely are not playing like they used to play, and they still have some issues to address. But they're definitely excited about a W in the win column there.
Yeah, definitely. The Crush, you know, Dutton still has Harrell out there, but I'm sure he's missing some of the other guys he had around him, and you can see that's affecting their team offensively this year. But they pulled it out. They got the 3 INTs, which helped them out. So.
All right, moving on. Next game on the docket. Las Vegas Gladiators take a trip to Georgia. And again, the way Las Vegas is playing, you thought this was been a freebie for Georgia, but anything but that. And Georgia escapes with their lives, 69-68. It came down the last play of the game, folks. One of the probably greatest arena highlights so far, obviously other than KI's one-handed catch on Monday night. But Tabiti Davis, kind of a hook and ladder to Atu Molden, runs it in for the score. Last play of the game, 2-point conversion for the win, and could not convert. But it was not Sean King pulling the trigger. It was Brian Jones. Brian Jones came from the AF2 team last year with the head coach, and oh, what a difference a quarterback can make. And I think now Sean's kind of in the learning seat going, wow, I need to take notes from this guy. 8 TDs, fabulous performance, but nonetheless, the trio that Georgia has and those receivers were just too much. But I think Georgia's, again, thanking themselves they escaped alive with this one.
Yeah, definitely. Vegas kept fighting. They actually let go of Sean King last week, and I was wondering who they're going to put back at the quarterback position. But Jones stepped up well. But, you know, Georgia got a lot of firepower out there, the best receiving corps in the league, in my opinion, and they ended up pulling that one out. But Vegas put up a good fight.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. KI with the inside info. I didn't know if Sean gave up or what the deal was, but again, Brian's put him in a great position, so we'll see what happens in Las Vegas. All right, final game on the docket, folks. Monday night, and what a, again, black and bruiser it definitely was as Dallas pulls away from Philly at the end, but then Philly keeps it close to keep those viewers tuned in as Dallas got a little sloppy, but nonetheless, it was Clint Dozell throwing his 801, 802nd TD pass, but wasn't too excited about it. He was more focused on the win. I think his real goal is 1,000. But Philly now dropped 2 in a row, and I guess the hit heard around the world, I guess in Philadelphia, was Grazi going down with separated shoulder. And stepping in, of course, is their backup quarterback, Justin Wood, who did very well in New York until he got hurt. KI, you spent obviously some time with Grazi. Can Philly win without Graziani?
I think they can. You know, they'll be able to pull some games out until he gets back. They definitely need him back. But Justin Woods is a great quarterback. He would play with him in Avengers for a little bit. But he showed some signs during the first couple quarters when he got in. Towards the end, you know, kind of was out of sync or whatever, but I think he could pull some wins out for him. But they'll definitely need Graz back if they want to make a run at the championship.
All right, folks, there you have it. KI speaks and we listen. We're out of time. That's it for this edition of AFL Today, Week 7. For Kevin Ingram, I'm Evan Money. God bless everybody. I think this was too close for comfort, T-Cos.
Oh, yeah, definitely, T-Cos.
Oh, I called you T-Cos.